Then you get Trump. He's Republican. You gave him the 4 years, but you don't want him to do the 8 years. So he said he's just going to run around and get the 4 after this. So most likely, Biden's going to get in there for his 4. Or actually, Biden's going to get in there for his couple of months. And then he's going to claim that he's sick and can't get well. And the vice president going to become the president because they like making history. So now for history's sake, you get the first woman president again. And all heads are going to roll. And all the fears are going to come to the surface of why they did not want the woman president in the first place. Because there's no such thing as a man being a first lady, and there's no such position as a first gentleman, and they're not going to rewrite the Constitution to put in a clause for a first gentleman. That's not legal. They're not even going to say, let him pretend we're going to call him first gentleman. You can't call him anything because it's not in the Constitution. So either he's going to bitch up and call himself first lady or get the hell out of there. But they're not going to rewrite it. Now, 3 reasons I'm not going to rewrite it. Because you done threw in this new judge, and she's a liberal, so she's not going to rewrite something for gender preference. She's not going to stand on the morals of no LGBTQ stuff to make it gender specific. And they fought hard to put the first lady crap in the Constitution in the first place, which actually supersedes the vice president. Because if you remember, when Reagan was with the Alzheimer's, Nancy Reagan ran the White House. As long as there's a sitting president. He didn't have to know what he was doing. But as long as he was in the seat, she could run her mouth and tell the vice president, go fuck yourself. And that's what's going to happen here. He's going to sit in the seat. Obama's going to run the country and tell Biden what to do. This is what you do, Joe. This is what you do. And he's going to do everything that Obama tells him to do. As you can see, he's still acting like a vice president. Sits on the sidelines with his arms folded and lets everybody do the talking except for him. Because he can't talk about the teleprompter. So today, he's still on the sidelines with his arms folded and let Kamala run off at the mouth like she was president. I said, what kind of shit is this? Somebody sent me something about a Kamala, but I didn't read it. Let me see what it was supposed to be about. Hopefully it's nothing stupid. Oh, those are line topics. Okay. It says the Kamala effects, breaking gender and racial barriers. Okay, let's go to it. See what it says. Kamala Harris steps into the role of vice president as the first woman to hold the position. She also the first woman of color as the child of a black father and an Indian mother. Oh, here we go with this bullshit again. Canadian media veteran Raj Grant, whose parents are also Indian, can address the often hidden prejudice against brown people and discuss how Harris will inspire many young girls, especially those of color. Ross can also talk about the massive changes that have taken place this year in the U.S. from Black Lives Matter to cancel culture and the new reality that in 2020 a black, Southern, and Asian woman is a heartbeat away from the presidency. She'll also share how, despite its horrors, 2020 has encouraged a community-centric global culture that is here to stay. And Raj is a well-known media personality in Canada and a serial media entrepreneur who has worked in many communication-intensive industries with thought leaders, celebrities, and multinational corporations. So these are emails, line topics. And I usually send them to Cody, but I told him I wanted to see that one myself. It has been kind of hot and humid. It could be the corona. I don't know. But
weird weather today.
Yeah, I've been thirsty a lot. They won't give me no ice for my cup.
November. Amazing, it's November.
Well, everything that Trump said was going to happen about the Obama situation was going to happen, and everything I said was going to happen came to pass. When December comes, between mid-January, because December really don't hit nothing until the 20th. When December comes, it's best to get your space heaters, go to the store and buy you some heavy drapes. Put them heavy drapes across your window. You're going to have a hell of a winter storm. It might even become a blizzard because the air and atmosphere is so saturated. If you have a habit of eating snow, don't eat the snow. Don't let your dog eat the snow. Don't let your pet. Matter of fact, bring your pets in the house. Don't let the snow fall on your pets. There's some type of contamination in the air, and the snow is going to clean it out of the air, and I don't want you to put that contamination in your mouth. I don't know what it is. It's not corona. But I'm going to tell you something that I've learned while we were on break about the corona. Again, the corona is radiation poisoning. If you look up the definition of the word coronal effect, it says radiation. If you look at the space station that's up in space, where they were trying to send them some food, and the rocket blew up, that was the first sign of the coronavirus coming into the America atmosphere. That radiation ignited around the fumes of the rocket ship, and it blew up. Since the corona, they have not launched any more rockets. And I bet you the next one they launch will blow up as well, because that stuff is highly flammable for some reason. It's airborne because it's supposed to get into the oxygen and kill you. If you look up in the sky, you don't see the birds flying around. I'm sorry. When you look up in the sky, you see the birds flying around. You're not supposed to see any birds flying around. The birds should have been out of here around Halloween to prepare for the winter. I wake up in the morning today, I hear birds chirping outside of the window in November. Tweet, tweet, tweet. I said, what the hell is going on? It's so warm, the birds don't know that it's time to go south. Why are the people dying from the coronavirus? Because they have an allergic reaction to pollen. Look at the people who have hay fever. They haven't been sneezing from hay fever in a long time because they've gathered all the hay fever stuff, all the histamine, and put all the histamine into the virus. Histamine comes from the pollination of plants and flowers. You don't see the bees flying around. The bees are the ones that cause the histamine That's why we did not have a hay fever season. That's number one. Look out for it. All the bee pollen, which is in this virus, especially yellow jackets, are highly fatal for someone allergic to bees. The smell of a bee. Think about people who have food allergies or they're allergic to peanuts. That same aroma of a peanut sets off them itching and scratching. I remember one time this girl was on a bus and the boy was 5 seats behind her eating some M&Ms. They were chocolate, but apparently the chocolate still had some type of a peanut in it. And he's nowhere near her. She didn't eat the peanut and started having that gagging. She was choking. Her tongue was swelling up. Couldn't breathe. So, what was the driver's name? Luke DeLuca. Mr. DeLuca calls the company on the radio and tells him there's a situation, the child is choking on some candy. That's what he thought was happening. And she's kicking and foaming at the mouth. He don't have time to pull the bus over in the middle of traffic. And he can't keep making stops. He's going to drive the bus to the hospital. So call the ambulance or whoever you got to call, but I'm going to drive her to the hospital. So Mr. DeLuca drove that bus off route. Kids on the bus and everything, which will get you fired. But he figured he was covered because he made an executive decision to get to the hospital. Because this wasn't no Heimlich maneuver type situation. And he didn't know what to do. He couldn't help. So the nurse came with her first aid kit, just out of curiosity. And some Benadryl, just out of curiosity. And she stabbed her in the leg with the EpiPen, and then the girl began to calm down. Even if she didn't need it, and even if she was diabetic or whatnot, whatever the medicine is in the epidural stops all of that stuff from happening. Even Benadryl. You having a seizure or whatnot, whatever stuff is in that medicine, shuts that down. They found out was allergic to peanuts. Even though the boy was nowhere near her and she didn't eat anything, the aroma of the peanut was in the air, and that's what made her just boom. So after that, he just said, no more eating on the bus. He didn't want to take any chances. Needless to say, he was removed off that run because, emergency or not, parents start complaining, where's the bus? Where's my child? I don't care about no emergency. So answers like that caused him to be moved. My thing is this. If the child is on the bus, the bus is safe, the company knows who the driver is, you can go meet the driver at the hospital if you need the child right away. Or you can stand your ass on the stop and wait for the child to get there. It makes no sense to drop off the child and then keep the bus moving. You don't have any transfer of custody type paper to leave the child there, so he had to stay there. He's the guardian until there's a parent present, just like the principal or teacher is the guardian until the school bus driver arrives. So special kudos to Mr. DeLuca. We want to take a quick break. I know we're 3 minutes over. That's fine. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more Talking Live. And you answer the question, is that inappropriate for the president to want to stop the vote? I think they were illegal anyway. For the president to want to stop the votes, or is it inappropriate to claim victory ahead of the votes? You decide. 917-889-8825. Again, that's 917-889-8825. You're listening to Baltimore is Talking Live. We'll be right back.